Hello, Phoenix. My name is Kara Moore. I am 20 years old and I go to Marymount University in Arlington, Virginia. That's about 2 miles from D.C. So, I am from D.C. I wanted to talk to you guys about my amazing new life since seeing Dr. Alpher and Dr. Roberson. When I was a freshman in high school, which was about 5 years ago, I started getting sick a lot. I had mono and pneumonia at the same time, and that was in the first 2 months of my freshman year, so that wasn't so pleasant. And I had already had panic disorder, so on top of having mono and pneumonia, I was having panic attacks 24 hours a day, and that caused a lot of stress on my body. I've always had a popping and clicking in my jaw, but I never really took it seriously. My pediatric dentist didn't really think it was necessary to take action. For the popping and clicking, she said everybody had it at some point, but things started to get really bad my senior year of high school. In November of 2011, or November 2010, I started having the worst headaches above my left eye, right in here. And it would go all the way down into my temple, into my jaw, and just hurt all over. And that pain would go down into my neck, and sometimes I would have lower back pain. I just thought this was because I was a typical high school student who got up before the crack of dawn and was at school for 8 hours, and I thought I was just exhausted. But these headaches started to completely ruin my life, and so I couldn't go to school. I couldn't do anything a high school student is supposed to be able to do. I missed homecoming, prom, graduation, all because of these headaches. So, going back to November 2010 is when I began searching for an answer for these awful headaches that were keeping me home from school. And I started off going to a neurologist. She gave me migraine medicine because I have migraines in my family. My mom and sister have them. So the neurologist said, "Oh, they're migraines." Wrong. I was on so many migraine medications and prevention medications, some of which had really bad side effects. I will not go into detail about those. But the neurologist didn't have an answer for me. So when I would get these really bad headaches, it'd be to the point where I went to the emergency room. So from February 2011 to April 2011, I was in the emergency room. I was a frequent flyer. Sometimes I would go twice a week. What they would do, the job of the emergency room doctors are to take away your pain for the moment, I guess, and see if you get better. But they would give me a cocktail of migraine medications, send me on my way, and then the next morning I would wake up with another headache and be back in the emergency room asking for another round of those medications. On the last emergency room visit, where I was in pain, I didn't know what to do, the neurologist didn't know what to do, my mom didn't know what to do. We had researched all sorts of possibilities. It was almost like go on WebMD and start diagnosing yourself with the symptom checker. We didn't know what to do. So the emergency room doctor, who had been seeing me week after week after week, was about to suggest I visit the Johns Hopkins Headache Center. And I have heard that is an amazing, amazing facility. And I I would have gone, but he decided to give me Dilaudid for my pain. And thankfully, well, this isn't really a good thing, but I had an allergic reaction to Dilaudid, and my chest started, it felt like it was closing up. I got shortness of breath and I couldn't breathe very well, so they decided to give me Valium to get rid of these side effects. And it was almost like an EpiPen dosage for my shortness of breath. As soon as they gave me Valium, my headache went away too, and I could breathe. So, put two and two together, Valium is a muscle relaxant. So, we figured out this had something to do with my muscles. And yay, everything is great, and now I'm gonna be pain-free. That's a funny joke, right? Yeah, so the Valium cured my headaches for the time being. And we didn't have to go to Johns Hopkins that weekend. Great, okay. So, went home, the headache was gone. I watched TV, I listened to music. I didn't have any pain. Then I woke up the next morning, back to my headaches. So, here I am, going to the emergency room again, and this is just after Easter. At that point, I really wasn't, it hadn't really affected me emotionally, because I thought, oh, well, I'll just go to Johns Hopkins then, and they'll fix me. But then my mom was on the computer, and she spent so much time researching these headaches and trying to find out anything possible that could be wrong with me. She spoke to her friends from college. One of her friends' husbands had a trigeminal nerve issue, and I got scared because I know the surgery that goes with that, and it's not fun. We got CT scans, MRIs with contrast. I got a brain scan, and nothing came back. 100% normal. I was 100% normal. But why was my head hurting? Well, specifically above my left eye. I found this physical therapist who was in her own practice. She was a physical therapist, medical doctor. And no one really knows about dry needling, but it's like acupuncture, but instead the needle goes into your muscle and your muscle twitches, and that's, I guess, releasing a spasm. And so we found this physical therapist. She did the dry needling, she worked on stretches with me because we thought this was a full bodily malfunction, if that's a word. So we started, and at the same time I was seeing an ear, nose, and throat doctor. We decided to get a CT scan of my sinuses. So while we were at it, we discovered that the structures in my sinuses, specifically my turbinates, were 4 times the size they should be. So a week before my graduation, I got splints stitched to my septum. I couldn't breathe for a week. Well, I could because I'm alive now. But it was one of the most horrific things I've ever gone through, and given the amount of pain I've gone through, this sinus surgery definitely was one of the worst things that I experienced. I had to miss graduation from high school, but I did still get my diploma. I really started at the end of high school to realize, hold on, I might not be going to college because this is a continuous pain. Nobody knows what's wrong with me. They think they know what's wrong with me, but it's not working 100%. So I apologize for the change in scenery and or sound. I am in college and I live in a dorm, so I had to move places. And take note, I am in college, so the story gets better. So I did dry needling for the summer of from May 2011 until August 2011, and the physical therapist got me to the point where I was good enough to go to college on time, live in a dorm, but I became a frequent flyer at Arlington Hospital. My dad works nearby, so I would often have to go to the hospital, and I'd have to wait for him to be done at work to go. So I'd be in my dorm room in bed in so much pain, waiting to go to the emergency room for my relief. But these headaches, they were the same magnitude, but they weren't as often because of the dry needling. So I continued dry needling into freshman year of college. I finished in November of 2011, a year after I started seeing a neurologist for my headaches. And so we thought I was better. I was great. I finished up my second semester of freshman year of college. I did have headaches, and I had Fiorinol to fix that, but it was really difficult. I still didn't know what was wrong above my left eye, and so I just dealt with it. There were a lot of times when I was emotionally depressed. Things would happen here at college that would remind me of things I should have been able to do in high school, and I would get upset right away. So that is something I've had to deal with since coming to college. And the first thing freshman year everyone talked about was high school and the last months of high school. And I've never really been the type of person to share my story, so not many people know exactly what's happened to me since I was diagnosed with panic disorder in 5th grade. I don't want to feel any pity or have any attention brought on me, because that's just not the type of person I am. But it's been difficult to keep it in. Thankfully, the counselors here at Marymount are wonderful, and I have met some amazing friends. So I hear someone coming. This is the college life. Okay. So back to what I was saying about the emotional part of it. It has definitely hit me hard, more times than I thought it would. I consider myself to be a really emotionally tough person just because of all the pain I've gone through. But there were times when I would just sit there and go, why me? Why do I keep getting things thrown at me? Why do I have all this pain? Uh, it, it, it didn't make sense to me, but at the same time, I kept telling myself, I'm gonna get better. This pain's not gonna last forever. I'm lucky I am not in the hospital like kids are with cancer. I don't have a terminal illness. So I'm lucky to be alive. That's kind of my mindset through all of this. So I had a really great summer after freshman year of college. The dry needling seemed to really it did so well, and my neurologist actually started me on Botox every 3 months, because I get headaches with storms and pressure changes, and since I am in the weirdest spot of Virginia, the pressure changes are extreme, and the Botox works, and I know when it wears off, so that's really good. And so, sophomore year of college, 2012, I came, over the summer I had a few headaches, a substantially less amount than a year prior. I was so ready just to be on my own and be independent and, hopefully go to homecoming in college. And I was able to do that. I wore the dress that I bought for graduation. Since I had to miss graduation, I wore the dress for homecoming. So that was one of the first things that I actually did where I felt like I belonged and where I felt like I was a normal teenager. Um, Unfortunately, I was 18, so my teenage years were coming to an end, but I was still a teenager. So I went through the first semester sophomore year, which was last semester. It went by so fast. I can't even remember what happened. I went to class, slept, ate. That was about it. And oh, I got a job. So I was able to get a job too, working with dogs at a pet retreat. And I was also the basketball manager for the team here. I wasn't able to play because we still didn't know what was wrong with me. I still got headaches, and it was a risk I was not willing to take. Plus, I had a lot of ground to cover. I had lost so much weight from all the pain and stress and surgery. So I'm a 6 foot tall person, but right now I am only 135 pounds, which is amazing compared to when I came to college at 107 pounds. So I've definitely exceeded that freshman 15. And so basically, first semester of sophomore year flew by so fast, and I came back ready to just knock out the rest of my undergraduate years because I know exactly what I want to do when I get out of undergrad. I want to go to graduate school. My major is in psychology with a criminal justice minor, and I would like to do some clinical mental health, help people, teenagers or adolescents who have gone through, traumatic experiences like I have, who are trying to deal with it. Just if I can make somebody, better and give them a positive outlook on life, my job is done here. So I want to go to graduate school, and then I want to move on to get my PhD. I would actually like to do that in Boston. I'm a huge Red Sox fan, and I've never been there, but for some reason there's an attraction to Boston. There's even more of an attraction now that this is the day after the terrorist attacks at the marathon, and I knew people who were there, so that was definitely another stressor that can be added on to a body that's trying to fix itself. So after I got back from break, I noticed the clicking and popping in my jaw was a lot more frequent, and that wasn't good. It was starting to hurt. It was not something I was looking forward to exploring with a doctor. So I kind of just kept quiet and acted like I was okay. But then one morning before class, I went to breakfast and I was just eating eggs, scrambled eggs. My jaw locked and didn't go back. So I said, oh man. So I called my mom at home, and she took me to my regular dentist, and He tried for about an hour to get my jaw unlocked, and this whole time I was in extreme pain. I was like, it was a blur because I was in so much pain. All I could focus on was the pain. And he said, I'm gonna send you to Washington D.C. to see Dr. Elliott Alpher. And that's when my life turned 360 degrees a million times over. That was about 6 weeks ago. So 6 weeks ago, I saw Dr. Alpher for the first time. I felt extremely welcomed when I went into his office. His secretary, so nice, and then Roxanne, who does the treatment, she is really nice. She loves to talk and really get to know you. As far as the tests I underwent in Dr. Alpher's office, he explained to me that he worked with craniofacial pain. I was referred there for TMJ, and basically my mandibular bone connecting to the skull was grinding again. They were grinding against each other every time I clicked and popped my jaw, and I couldn't really help it. Every time I spoke, it clicked and popped. Every time I ate, everything I did with my mouth. And I'm not one to not talk, so that wasn't happening. I went to his office. He said right away, he said, from looking at you, one, your head is tilted. So I was kind of like this, and I didn't know that. My head was forward. He put me behind the posture chart, and my left shoulder was higher than my right. He said, there are 3 things wrong with you I know, before we even did any tests. He said, you have hypermobility, which is a form of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. You all know that. You're doctors. Okay. And he said, you definitely have severe TMJ, and you have, some issues that we're going to have to work out with the chiropractor. And he sent me to an internist as well. And then he said, you think there's something seriously wrong with you. In reality, it is 100% fixable, and on a scale from 1 to 10, you're about a 3 compared to all the patients I have ever seen come in for the initial consultation. He said people came in wheelchairs, gurneys, people who couldn't stand up. So that right away comforted me, and the fact that he said he could fix me. I was a little skeptical because I'd heard that a million times over. But I was open to any solution that someone could offer me, because I couldn't do it myself. So we scheduled another appointment for x-rays and computerized testing, and we found out that my jaw, I chewed like a horse. So I would chew like that. The computer showed that when I was hooked up to it, instead of a straight line up and down, it would kind of go down. That would be my jaw opening, and then it would, go like that on the close, when it's really supposed to go like that. So that was an interesting test that he did. And he measured my bite. I could only open my jaw 23 millimeters when the average human can open it 48 to 50 with no pain at all. 23 millimeters was pushing it. And it had clicking and popping. So I was definitely, far from, I thought I was far from a cure or fix or something. So Dr. Alpher finished the tests, the x-rays, it was really funny. He was a funny guy. He told me, you know, he thought he was looking at a Halloween skeleton, and as soon as he showed me the x-ray of my jaw and how to the left it was, I was shocked, in disbelief that I was living with a very slanted body. That was because my C1 and C2 vertebrae were misaligned. And that was another thing he said right away. The way you're standing makes me think that your body atlas is, you know, not straight. So he put that in the results. It was, I want to say it was 15 pages of test results that we hypothesized in the consultation, and then he just proved it all. He proved it all, and it was all right in front of my face. And not only was I shocked, I learned so much about, you know, exactly what was wrong with me. I knew exactly how to fix it because he explained that. And I walked out of that office like, I want to start now, but the treatment process, it goes in phases. Phase 1 is where you get appliances, and the first one was a really large rubber appliance that went on my bottom teeth, and we were trying to fix my bite. That was the first step, and also trying to relax my temples because they were so tight. So the appliances were fixing my bite. I also got an NTI device that I wear at night, just to release the tension in these muscles right here. And so that is why I didn't wake up with headaches after I got my devices. And so I went to Dr. Alpher's office 4 times for the first phase of treatment. And that was, we tried to do it twice in 2 weeks. That's the suggested time you should get the treatment. And he's probably already explained what he does for treatment, but if the video is the first thing, then you guys just don't have to listen to him when he starts talking. No, but I went in for the first treatment. It was about 2 hours and 45 minutes, almost 3 hours. Roxanne, you know, knew exactly what to do. She did it like clockwork. She put the heat on the sides of my ears, and I think it touched my temples, and they were lasers, I think. And then after that one was done, I got a nice little heat wrap that, you know, just relaxing all the muscles that were so tense in my brain. And then my favorite one, which was I guess it was something electrical, stimulating. He put on my neck/shoulder blades in the middle, and then I feel like, yeah, right here too. All the instruments, they looked so complicated, so I just let them do their work. And after my first appointment, I went to get my mouth measured, and I opened my mouth 46 millimeters. I walked in the office only able to open at 23 millimeters with a lot of pain, and 3 hours later, I was at 46 millimeters, and he said to me he already knew I was going to get better quicker. So I went for 3 more of those appointments, those types of treatment appointments. And throughout this whole process, he's explained everything to me. And I started seeing Dr. Roberson, the chiropractor. And when I thought of chiropractor, I thought old people and you go to that chiropractor and he cracks everything in your back. But what Dr. Roberson did was he focused on certain muscle pressure points all over my entire body, and I think he pushes on them. Yeah, he pushes on them really hard, and somehow the muscle releases, and it releases, and I feel amazing. At first, it's very painful when he presses on the pressure point, but after that first appointment too, I felt like I had gotten a half an inch taller, and I felt really amazing. And I I was like, this might actually work. And so now I am in phase 2 with Dr. Alpher. I have a new daytime appliance, which is it's almost like a soft set of teeth. And, well, yeah, it is a soft set of teeth. And you can't see it. If it's in my mouth, you can't see it. When my mouth is closed, it doesn't look like my face is big or anything. I'm still learning to talk with it, but I can talk in class with it. No one really notices. So all these appliances are comfortable to wear. They're not like braces. They're not painful. Roxanne makes them, and she is very good at it. Dr. Alpher made my first 2, and he made them pretty well. And then, but Roxanne does most of the appliances, and she's very good at them because she's very experienced. So it's good to have someone in the office who is experienced like that. Right now, I go for the same heat wraps, but then instead of the wrap around my head, I get a laser. I'm not sure what it is. It's like a instrument that has extreme laser red light, and Roxanne puts it on my neck. I don't feel anything, but miraculously, when she's finished, I feel amazing. But I woke up the day after my 20th birthday, March 25th, for the first time since I can really remember in my entire life without pain, and I woke up and I was like, there is something seriously wrong with me. And then I moved, and I didn't have pain in my shoulders, my back. And then I was like, whoa, my head doesn't hurt. And I got my phone right away, and I called my mom, and I was like, I just woke up and I feel 100%, like, I feel like I want to go run around. And apparently, that is what you normal people have felt like your whole lives. Wow. So after all of the pain and emotional stress that I've been put through since age 10, 10 years later, I am in college. I am able to go out with friends without getting extremely exhausted. I don't need naps like 2-year-olds, though I do love my naps. I really don't know how else to explain how grateful I am to have been referred to these 2 doctors. And even though insurance doesn't cover the payments, it is way better than getting the jaw surgery that oral surgeons usually do and staying in the hospital for a long period of time. Those medical bills would be a lot more than what my parents are paying for this treatment right now. We're trying to get an insurance code for it because it is a medical problem. It's not dental, or it is dental, but it's mostly medical. It deals with your brain and muscles and everything. So we're really trying to promote this new technology of treatment, and I am living proof that it works. So If you have any questions, I'm sure Dr. Alpher will be able to answer them, and Dr. Roberson. But if you would like to talk to me personally, you can ask them. I have no other words to describe how amazing I feel. I am a normal person now. I feel like I can do anything. I can play basketball, I can play golf, I can listen to loud music, I don't get tired during the day, I can eat a bagel without my jaw popping and clicking, and I've been talking for the last 30 minutes, and I haven't had one click or pop, and my mouth is not tired, so should I keep going? No, it's actually 11 o'clock. And that's another thing. I used to go to bed at 8 o'clock. I couldn't handle staying up. And so since turning 20, I've been a normal person, and every activity that I was never able to do, I tell my friends that I love our normal afternoons, our normal evenings, and they kind of laugh, and I've explained what has been going on with me to them, but it's not really something you can understand unless you feel it or study up a lot on it. So after 10 years of chronic pain, fatigue, depression, panic, everything in the book, I am a normal kid. I want to say kid because I'm 20. I'm young. Yeah. And my life is amazing. There are no words to say thank you to Dr. Alpher and Dr. Roberson, and Dr. Basinski, who's the internist I see, and he regulates my medicines, because I'm on propranolol and Flexeril to keep, the sleep patterns regular. That was another thing that was wrong. The pain was causing me to wake up in my sleep. And so I'm here living proof, going to college. There's no other evidence you could possibly find other than me and my fellow patients that Dr. Alpher treats. I've gotten to meet some of them, and they are, they know what I have been through. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to really listen to this video, and hopefully anybody else out there who's going through what I am, what I was going through, can, learn from my video, and hopefully they can have normal lives too. Thank you guys again. Thank you for all the work you guys do. I think Dr. Alpher and Dr. Roberson are definitely onto something here. Soon there will be no such thing as jaw surgery. 11, I'm a little tired. It's almost finals week, so I've got to get going, but I really, really, really appreciate everything that Dr. Alpher and Dr. Roberson have done. It's priceless. So here I am, Kara Moore, attacking life and going for my dreams. That's about all I can say. So you guys have a great day, evening, morning. I don't know. So if you have any questions, just ask the experts. And, laugh at their jokes because they are funny. All right. Bye.